Okay, is everyone ready?
Ready?
Ready. I'd like to call to order the Berea Code Enforcement Board Special Call Session on Monday, September the 29th. Should be 2025. Melissa? Okay. First, we want to recognize any visitors, and when we get to a particular item on the agenda that you would like to speak to, I will recognize you at that time, and you will have the privilege of speaking. Okay. Item number 3 is approval of minutes for December the 9th, 2024. Everyone had a chance to look over the minutes?
Okay, I move.
Okay, it's been moved that we approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and second to approve the minutes for December the 9th, 2024. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Updates on previous hearings. Mrs. Haney?
692 and 698 Jefferson Street. We had taken them at the last hearing for occupancy of a garage and storage building, rubbish, and minimum housing standards. The codes office, along with the police department, inspected this property on January the 21st of 2025 and found the house to be sanitary and habitable. All rubbish had been removed from the property and no one living in the accessory structures. A lien was placed on the property in the amount of $3,946 for the fine and legal fees. We've recently had a title company reach out to us asking for the payoff for that lien. So we have provided that information to them. As of tomorrow, that total would be $4,061.68, and that does include the interest in which that lien would gain. At a recent inspection, though, and recent complaints have been filed within the last 2 weeks about the condition of the property again, and new appliances and rubbish along the property. So we will, along with reports of people living again in those storage buildings. So we will follow up with notice of violation and act accordingly. The one thing I need to figure out from the lien company, so the title has not yet transferred, or at least I can't find that on public record yet. But it seems as though they may be in the process of title changing for that property. So we will follow up with either existing property owner or new property owner, as it may be. But it does appear that we are about in the same condition as we were when we filed the original complaint, or when the original complaint was filed.
Okay.
220 Mary Street, the owner did comply with the February 1st deadline. As of July of this year, we started receiving, well, let me back up. The owner complied, so there were no liens or further enforcement actions taken from the last Code Enforcement Board hearing. As of July of this year, we started receiving new complaints about rubbish, and this item will appear on today's agenda. So we will have an opportunity to speak to this item here in a few moments.
Okay.
I will say that this is the second appearance for the Code Enforcement Board within a 2-year span, and overall a 4th appearance in total. So there were items back around 2018. We have, in terms of estimating fines and all that, because of the gap in dates, we have basically figured this as a second offense.
Okay.
Because there have been times in the past that the property owner has come into compliance. 424, oh, no, I'm skipped one. 119 Phillips Street
Yes.
was on the last agenda. They were written up for rubbish, vehicles, and property maintenance. That fine was waived if the property was brought into compliance by February the 1st. It was. As of today, the grass is pretty high, so we will follow up with another notice of violation for that property after this week.
Okay. That it?
That's it?
Any questions for Amanda? All right. On my left, any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir. Rebecca?
Nope.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, let's move to the new business. The first item on the agenda will be 112 Leslie Drive, condemnation and property maintenance. Mr. Gilbert, would you swear who's going to be speaking? And your name?
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. So, the chair, members of the Code Enforcement Board, I am the codes officer, Jeff Harness. I'm gonna back this up on this residence here because it's been in our books, and I wasn't working at this time, but I've researched it, and it comes back to 2017, along with Amanda helping as well. In 2017, the back door of that residence was boarded up. I don't know if you can see it in that area or not. We'd sent out a invoice, which was paid at $49.52. February the 9th, 2021, the city had came back in, the Public Works, and had actually boarded the entire house up, all the windows and all the doors. Now, this has been boarded up since 2021, the entire home, okay? And the invoice was sent out at $282, and it was paid. On August the 6th, 2025, I had responded back. They had a lot of brush and stuff that was growing up, and had taken the pictures, as you can see, as Miss Amanda Haney is going through the photos now. I had sent them a letter, a code violation letter of numerous different violations of the city of Berea, okay? I spoke to her, and, well, no, you spoke to her, didn't you? Yeah, Miss Haney spoke to her, and was trying to clarify a few things. I did end up sending a citation to her in September the 10th of this year, 2025. Once the citation was sent, we found out later that, well, actually, we found out at the time that the citation was already mailed that she had sold the house to some other, do you remember the names of them that bought it?
Thin Line Investments.
Thin Line Investments.
Is now the property owner.
So I went by Thin Line, or I went by the residence where Thin Line had purchased, and we do show a deed. At the time, I do not know if it's been recorded yet. I don't know if Ms. Haney knows or not, but at the time, it was signed. But I'm not sure if it had went to the courthouse yet or not. When I went by the residence, do we have pictures of this? Okay. If we, as I went by the residence, all the property and everything's been cleaned up. Actually, the electrician that's going to be wiring it had actually come to my office today and spoke to me of what had to be done. The citation I sent out, like I said, was on September 10th, 2025, although with the new owners, and they're already cleaning the property up, they are, by what I've been told through our office, that they are wanting to try to save the house and remodel it. And at this time, I don't see that there's any further code, that needs to be done or brought from the board, any kind of, I don't know what it's actually called. I don't know the legal term for it.
So basically, they have now, with the permits that the new owner,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Amanda Haney, Codes and Planning Administrator. So, because they are, let me back up. As of 2 weeks ago, the property sold. So we wanted to afford the new property owner a little time to get the deed recorded, get started on the property. As Mr. Harness said, as of today, they have made great improvements. So all the rubbish is cleaned out from around the house. All this brush that you see is now gone. They are in the process of removing the interior rubbish from the house, and it will be remodeled and saved. That's what we really hope for these houses that can be saved and can be habitable, to provide, much-needed housing in this area for folks. So we actually do appreciate when somebody comes in, buys a house, spends the money to get it back in a safe and habitable state. The permits that they will need to pull as part of this, as part of their rehab of the house, I guess you would say, will be in effect for 6 months. So those permits are good for 6 months.
Yeah.
At this time, if the Code Enforcement Board elects to issue an order, we would just ask that maybe follow the same guidelines, that it be restored to a habitable condition within 6 months.
Okay.
As we do anticipate that this new owner will take care of the property, or at least thus far it appears that they will.
Any questions? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, the next item is 203 Wilson Street, accumulation of rubbish or garbage.
Right, and we have Mr. Maniscalco coming to represent this item.
Okay, you need to be sworn in, please?
Give me just a second. I gotta
Okay.
get set up first.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name.
Brian Maniscalco. So I am a code enforcement officer with the City of Berea Codes and Planning Office. First property on my agenda is 203 Wilson Street, which you can see above. The initial complaint was about a tarp at the end of the driveway with sort of undefined rubbish and garbage underneath it, just an accumulation of rubbish at the end of the driveway. We drove out. There was basically just a tarp. You could see kind of some memory foam pebbles falling out from underneath the tarp, some couch cushions. Our overhead imagery showed that it had been there for, I think the complaint came in May, and the imagery was from about February, March. So it had been there for a couple months already. So we sent them a letter, got no response, saw no action on it, sent a second notice letter, saw no action, got no response, so we set up this meeting. Earlier today, I actually met with the property owner, and we since discovered that the PVA had the wrong forwarding address for them. So I was sending letters to a house in Versailles that they no longer owned, and they actually lived there. We had sent one letter to their house. I think the first notice I sent to both the forwarding address and the tenant. So I didn't feel the need to resend to the tenant. I was just sending to the owner at that time, but when the hearing notice went out, the owner immediately got to action, had a truck there today, has already hauled off, I think, 2 loads worth of stuff from there. So in general, my recommendation at this point is that they are working towards compliance very quickly, that they had not been necessarily properly notified. Legally, we had done what we needed to, but they really didn't know. As you can see, this truck up here is loaded up. They were hauling it out. I met with them after this truck had been taken out. He said that he would have everything hauled off by the end of the day. And I told him that I would come to you guys and ask for 30 days. I do not believe that it warrants a fine. We did push out a citation. I believe that citation amount at this point is up to $2,500, as this is their first offense. So that's my recommendation right now. Is it does seem like the owner is now working very quickly to try to get to compliance. Made it very clear that he wanted to work with us, did not want to, be seen as a blight on the neighborhood, which was what the original complaint basically stated, was this is an eyesore for the neighborhood. So that's my recommendation on 203 Wilson.
Okay, your recommendation then is for 30-day extension, and the fine would stay in place
To waive the fine.
to waive the fine. Any questions from any board members? All right, thank you. Okay, 424 Richmond Road. Okay. You're gonna speak
Okay,
about?
so yes, the rest of them are all me. So we received a complaint for trash, rubbish, and furniture accumulation on the property. A sort of noxious odor coming from the property. Surrounding property owners claimed they were not able to be in their yards due to the smell. And so obviously, this complaint was before the board last year for similar reasons. So on the overhead imagery, we didn't take any pictures of this because you can very clearly see from the overhead. In front of the garage, under the blue tarp, is what we have seen from the road as a bunch of just household garbage and other rubbish. In the backyard, you can see there's an accumulation of household appliances and furniture, along with just other household garbage and rubbish. And then it's hard to see with the lighting on there, but there is a very large pile of loose limbs and brush in the bottom right corner or the rear side property line. We sent a notice. The violation was initially submitted on July 31st. An inspection was completed on August 5th, and our notification was completed by August 6th. We did a follow-up inspection and found no progress basically on it. No movement was going towards it. We issued a fine on the 4th of September. We issued a citation. And then added them to the agenda for this code enforcement board. The only small bit of compliance that I've seen, our violation letter, we noted that there was a piece of the gutter and soffit in disrepair. They had a tree branch actually come loose and hit the house earlier this year. And that was right around the time that we got this complaint. They have since removed the tree branch and repaired the gutter and soffit, but that has been the only effort towards compliance that we have observed in the 3 months we've been watching this. As of right now, our recommendation is to uphold the fine and get a contractor to complete the work.
Okay, how much is the fine at this point?
I will state for the record that the property owner's daughter reached out she actually emailed the mayor, and she did disclose in the email that both of her parents, who are the owners of this property, are ill.
Would you like me to read it?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
I have the email here. It says, "My name is Nadine Gibson. I am the daughter of Nathaniel and Barbara Gibson. My dad has cancer and is on dialysis from kidney failure. My mother has had a stroke and having a rough recovery. They got a letter on the mail about garbage that I'm working on taking care of through a dumpster company. I had did this before. If I could get at least a month to get all this squared away, that would be nice. I only have the help of my 2 children and myself, and I work full time and take care of my parents. This is not normal for them. Just the past couple 2 or 3 years have been hard on them with illness and all. Thank you and have a blessed day." And that was sent to the mayor on September 22nd.
So from the codes office, what we would recommend is the 30-day the 30 days that she has requested to comply. And if compliance is not met, to have to be able to hire a contractor to remove the rubbish and limbs. And because this is the second offense, the citation was issued 25 days ago, so the fine amount as of today would be $7,500.
So you're asking them with the 30 days to stop the fine at this, stop collecting the fine or assessing the fine at this point, give them 30 days, and then if it's not done.
If it's not done, to basically activate the fine and to be able to hire a contractor.
And the fine is how much per day?
$300 a day for a second offense.
Okay.
What about the odor? I mean, if it's really bad, do we need to wait a month? Or is it terrible or what?
I personally have not experienced the odor. I did walk through the neighbor's rear yard when the complaint first in because they gave us permission. Pretty windy day. I personally didn't notice any noxious odor, but I don't live next door. With the amount of household garbage and appliances and stuff out there, I do believe that there probably is, especially on more still days, especially after it's been raining, that there probably is a noxious odor emanating from that property, especially this stuff in front of the garage there. I think we've from the street, you can see there's some actual trash bags and stuff like that in there.
I drove by that today. I would agree with that observation. Okay, anyone else? Any other questions? All right. Thank you. And now, 220 Mary Street. Ma'am, did you want to speak on this one? Okay. After he finishes, then I'll have you come forward. So you want to come on and move on up so you be ready? Thank you.
Okay, so 220 Mary Street, we initially received the complaint on July 10th of 2025 for just overgrown grass and trash rubbish. We drove out there and saw that they had household garbage bags on the porch, some pool equipment, furniture, other general rubbish, and then the driveway, as you can see from the photos above, had some kind of contracting equipment, trampoline, household items, and other just kind of assorted rubbish. So we sent a violation letter on July 16th, noting that there was a pile of building materials, cabinets, tools, and other rubbish on the driveway. The front porch had garbage bags, cabinets, a drum set, washer, dryer, and pool filter. We said remove rubbish from the property and from the porch and driveway specifically, and that the front yard, driveway, and porch shall not be used for long-term storage of household items. This complaint since July 10th has kind of ebbed and flowed. We sent a letter. I actually met with Miss Lewis on the property and spoke with her about getting it cleaned up, kind of pointed to some things and said, you know, this is where we have the majority of our issue, and kind of just recommended that, you know, if you need to store stuff, try to store it out of sight in the house. Even in the rear yard is better than on the front porch, because we're going to constantly get complaints if it's in the line of sight. After that meeting, a little bit more cleanup was done, but at the same time, it seemed like every time something was cleaned up, more stuff was brought in, or the neatly made piles were then broken down and kind of spread out a little bit more. So a lot of the stuff that was originally written up for being on the porch isn't there anymore, but now there's kind of new stuff there. At one point, a lot of stuff was moved off and a mattress was moved in. It's just been kind of a give and take, one step forward, two steps back. At this time, we have a citation issued. The citation was issued on September 4th, 25 days. This being a second offense, that fine is also $300 per day and is currently sitting at $7,500. Our recommendation would be able to hire a contractor to haul off the rubbish, clean up the property, and assess the fine.
Any questions? All right. Okay. Mrs. Lewis, you want to speak? Step up, please. And Mr. Gilbert, we'll swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Will you state your name, please?
Michelle Lewis.
Okay, move the microphone down, please. All right, Mrs. Lewis, go ahead.
I have a dumpster coming Friday, and we're gonna try to get it cleaned up by then. They're gonna come and leave it till Monday. And, I don't know what else to say.
So I think what you're saying, if I'm, my interpretation, that you're saying to the board that you're having a dumpster delivered on Friday, it will, to clean up the property, it will be there until Monday. So basically what you're asking the board is like extra days to get the property cleaned on your own.
Please,
Is that a fair summation?
Yes. yes. Sir.
The only the question I have is, this is not the first time we dealt with this property, is this?
No. That wagon out there, I thought that stuff, that's new pool stuff that we're gonna try to sell. And a lot of that stuff that is piled up out there is stuff from where my son works at. And we don't have a storage building to put it at. But there is other stuff that we need to clean up, that's why we're getting a dumpster.
Okay. Any board members have a question from?
I have a question about the truck in the front with the wheels that look like that. What is happening with that vehicle?
That is, where we got all the pool stuff, it's all new pool stuff, and we're gonna try to sell it.
The truck too?
No.
He's talking about the truck in the driveway.
Oh, that truck. That's my son's truck.
Wasn't that one of the issues before?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe at the last code enforcement, as part of the compliance, that truck was actually loaded on a trailer and hauled off.
It was. It was removed from the property at the after the last code enforcement board hearing.
So this is another truck?
Either the same truck or a different truck, but a very similar,
Ma'am,
same
Same
truck.
truck.
Okay, same truck.
same truck.
Yeah.
So it got removed and brought back?
Yeah, he's trying to, it's his mud truck.
Is the truck licensed?
I think the tags are expired on it. He hasn't took it mudding this year. He's wanting to get it fixed up.
Observation. That is going to be a constant issue. If you take the truck, move the truck and bring the truck back, that, especially if it's not like, I guess, registered and no insurance, that's gonna be a constant problem, Mrs. Lewis, that I think definitely you're gonna have to need to work out with your son,
Okay,
or you'll be back here again.
okay.
Is that a fair statement?
Correct. They have to be licensed, registered, and operable. We can't really tell from this picture because it's backed in whether it's registered or not. But the fact that it is piled up in the bed of the truck and around the vehicle seems to me as though it's not been moved. So we would assume that it is not operable and registered.
So whether it's registered or not, it can't be on the property?
No, if it's registered and operable, it absolutely can be
Okay.
on the property,
But it
yes.
has to be operable even though it's registered and licensed.
Has to be operable.
I think that's state law, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's state law.
Ms. Lewis, does your son ask you to bring these vehicles and things to your house? Or does he does he have your permit, does he reside with you first, I guess?
Yes,
and
he does. He lives with me.
But it is your home?
Yes, it is.
Does he ask your permission to do these things? Or
well,
does he
he just-
kind of just do them?
He lives there too, so he just brought it, but I'm gonna ask him to move it because I can't keep having this trouble.
Other questions? Anything else you want to say, Mrs. Lewis?
No, thank you.
All right, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming in.
No.
Thank you for coming in.
No, the way the process, we will adjourn and go into executive session. We'll make a decision, and as before, then, Mrs. Isaacs will have to write up everything. Oh, no, the attorney will write up everything, then get it back to us. And the process is normally going to take 2 weeks? 2 weeks. So it'll be at least 2 weeks before you'll hear anything else.
Once we receive the final orders, I will make it a point to try to meet with you and go over what needs to be done or where we're at.
And my recommendation would also be that you continue with your plans to get the dumpster and get everything cleaned up, because the possibility, the way the order will be written, if the property is clean, then there won't be an additional fine. But if you wait, then, if you delay what you plan to do, then it could get worse. So just continue with your plans to get the dumpster and clean the property yourself. And like I said, normally it is at least 2 weeks before our decision will go through the process, the legal process, in getting back to codes. All right? Thank you. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn to go into executive session?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been motion second to go into executive session. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes.
I tell you what,
What
you second.
I would say, Amanda, somehow you're gonna have to communicate to the community, especially about vehicles.